All right, what's going on, everyone? Swinging Bull here with PB Alerts. Welcome to the earnings stream. Do every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern. Today we have Micron Technology reporting earnings, and then we also have Jeffries. I picked Jeffries as financial sector, but definitely gonna wanted to cover Micron. They're both reporting today after the closing bell. Regular session closing bell just rang, so we're officially closed for the regular session, and now we're in after hours. Let's just kind of go through these real quick. So Micron supposed to report right at 4 p.m. So their data should be coming out any second now. The forecast for EPS was $1.61, and the forecast revenue was 8.8 billion. And they're trading well above their anchored VWAP. Their anchored VWAP's right around $90 a share. Micron closed the regular session at $127.47 a share. They had a nice run yesterday, so they kind of retraced some of that today. But here we are in after hours, just awaiting the earnings data, and should get that any moment now with Micron. I'm going to go ahead and go to the 1 minute chart. Anch on YouTube. MU's earnings should be any moment now. Earnings whispers say they're supposed to release at 4 p.m. Eastern. It's already 4:01, so already getting a little bit of volatility here in after hours. A little after 4 o'clock right now, so should get the reaction any moment. We go to Webull just for a second. So going into the earnings, they had a PE ratio of 20, EPS of a little over 4. Very small dividend that they paid 0.36%. I guess is better than nothing. Let's take a look at some of the income statement. So yeah, very profitable company, of course. Nice and positive net income, and balance sheet debt to asset only 33%. So that's really good. And going into the earning, well, as of February 27th, they had over $8 billion in cash and equivalents. So pretty strong company. Let me go back to the candlesticks here because it looks like we're getting a move. MU's up 6%, and after hours up almost $8 a share. Just broke $8 a share. Go back to trading view just for a second. So the earnings for Micron is out. Let me see if I can get some EPS, some revenue data, and of course any guidance. Let's see here. Okay, let me scroll down just a little bit. Okay, now Micron is coming off of 2 back-to-back negative earnings reactions. So maybe this move they're getting right now will hold up, and maybe they're due to catch a bid here. Expected move is about 8%. It's like a $10 move, either up or down. Right now, it's obviously catching a bid and going up. So looking good for the bulls so far. Again, they closed the regular session at 127 and some change. They're sitting at 135, almost 136 right now in after hours, up almost 6.5%, almost $9 a share. So it's looking good so far for the bulls. Let me just go to my other screen real quick. And also just real quick, the other company reporting that I was going to go over is Jeffries Financial Group. They're supposed to report at 4:15 p.m. Eastern, so we get about 10 more minutes on that. Their forecast EPS 0.43, and their forecast revenue $1.56 billion. Excuse me. Their anchored VWAP just under $50, around $49. And they closed the regular session at $55.94, up 1% on the day. But let's go over to Micron real quick. And as soon as I get that EPS revenue data, I'll post that on the bottom of my screen. And of course, I'll show everyone how to get to the earnings call with the upper management. Let's just go over their results real quick. I got a nice little graphic right here. So again, the forecast EPS was 1.61. They just reported 1.91, so they beat EPS by 19%. That's a solid beat. That's a solid double-digit beat on the EPS. Revenue, the forecast was 8.8 billion. We were talking about that earlier, and they just reported 9.3 billion. So nice 5% beat on revenue. So good for them. Year over year numbers, EPS up 208% year over year. That's fantastic. Nice growth there on earnings per share. Revenue's up 37% year over year. Quarter over quarter numbers, EPS up 22%, revenue up 15%. So, you know, double digit to triple digit growth there. Triple digit growth on EPS year over year. Double digit growth on revenue and EPS for, well, more specifically, revenue year over year, 37%. And then the EPS quarter over quarter, double digit beat on EPS and revenue there. So nice solid move just to get things going and to break the ice with the earnings reaction. I'm gonna put some levels on here and just kind of see where we're at with the price and some retracement levels, if you will. I'll put it right where they closed up until the up to the high they just made. So wouldn't be surprised if it does retrace 25%. That's pretty normal, healthy price action. That puts it right around $134.50 a share. So let's see if that level holds right now, as it's kind of taking a little breather from that nice little pump it just had. S1, 134.50 a share. S2, I'd probably put that around 132 bucks. And then the golden ratio, I absolutely would want that to hold for the bulls. That's around 131 bucks a share. But we got some levels before that even comes into play there. So S1, 134.50, S2, 132. Pretty easy levels to keep in mind as we continue with the remaining of after hours price action. Just want to look at a few things. Let me go back here on Webull. Just want to pull up the bigger time frame charts here. So of course it's trading at 135 right now after hours, getting a nice positive reaction. The previous high on the weekly chart, you just kind of zoom out a little bit. It's in the 150s. It kind of wicked up to the 150s on this weekly candle, and that was about a year ago from today. So this is about 1 year of price action from when it was in the 150s, and of course that would be the all-time high. So let me switch over to the daily chart just real quick. I just want to look at a few other things. Let's see here. So it's trading about 135 in after hours. It's kind of where it was kind of trading sideways a little bit here before it sold off. And this was July of last year. So, but it was trading sideways there. So it could be a level of interest. That's where it's at right now. That kind of tops out around 136 when it was trading sideways there for a few weeks about a year ago. And that was right before it sold off. So level of interest is right where it's at now, 135-ish. If it can break above there is a small little gap here. I don't know if everyone can see that. It's pretty clear on Webull, but the bottom of the gap, let me just zoom out and make sure this thing never got filled yet. So the little gap I'm looking at, the bottom of that gap is right around 137, and the top of that gap is almost 139. So again, if it can break this, get into that little gap fill territory, I mean, definitely going to hit 139. Would think market makers would like to resolve that price action, kind of unresolved price action with that gap right there. Just a little tiny one though, nothing crazy. There was some gaps prior that formed after that, which have already been filled. This gap right here from July of 2024, that just got filled today, actually. So just zoom out a little bit more. So yeah, if it can get above and hold above the mid 130s, I mean, I'm thinking it's easily going to be back into the 140s as long as momentum holds up. So price target on MU moving forward with this positive reaction they're having today, I think it would be an easy trade to the 140 area. And of course, we just talked about the little tiny gap that's still sitting there from about a year ago. That brings it to about 139. And then, of course, at that point, probably make a run towards all-time highs. All-time high, according to Webull, $156.81 a share. So trading right around 134 right now. And again, the level I'm looking at is this. It's kind of like a little zone, if you will, kind of like 130 to 135 and some change, kind of like a $5 like zone right there. That's kind of what it's fighting with right now. We can go back to intraday chart real quick. Give me 1 second here. There we go. And I go 5-minute chart. So it is pulling back a little bit now. It did hit 137. So a few dollars shy from filling that gap from a year ago. Again, don't put too much weight on that gap because it's real tiny. It's only a few dollar gap. This is a $130 stock, of course. So anyways, it pulled back a little bit. Let me go back to trading view. So got a nice bounce off this off this 38% retrace, which is right around 133 a share. So working on a green candle right now. But yeah, Moon Pie on YouTube, it seems like we're thinking a lot alike. That one, it needs to get above that 136. And that's kind of like the top of the range where it was trading sideways July of last year. If it can break 136 and hold above there, this thing will probably be in the 140s before you know it. So that's kind of what I'm seeing too. So good eyes there, Moon Pie on YouTube. MC on YouTube, price target for MU. Again, got to clear that mid 130s, and I think it would be an easy trade to the 140s, low 140s to start with, and then if it can hold firm above there, it's probably going to make a run towards all-time highs. We'll see. But good stuff for the MU bulls. It's looking good. Let me post the EPS and revenue data on the bottom of my screen so everyone can see that. Give me one second here. Let me just scroll down a little bit. And okay, yeah, so we already went over EPS and revenue. So again, just a quick recap on Micron. Double beat. They beat EPS by a good amount, and then they beat revenue. Year-over-year numbers and quarter-over-quarter numbers look fantastic. I mean, double-digit to triple-digit percentage growth on those fronts. So it's looking good. It's kind of taking a breather right now. Let's see. It's about 50%. It just wicked down to 50% retrace. That was my S2, $132 a share. Got a forming a wick on the bottom here. Let's see if the buyers can keep pushing this back up from this little bounce on 132. Again, make or break for me, where for me to think that this is not going to retrace all the way back down, it's got to hold 131. I would really like 131 to hold. That's the 61% retrace on the fib, as we like to call it, the golden ratio. So, if that breaks down, then bulls are going to be in a little bit of trouble here. Maybe not so much in trouble, but it's just going to retrace this little rally it just had, this little pump it had. So S1, 132 a share. That's 50% of the retrace of the pump it just had. And then the golden ratio, 131. So easy levels, 132 and 131. If those levels break, and especially 131, there's something I'm not seeing here, which I'll find if that happens. But would like for it to hold one of those levels. It looks like some buyers did step up a little bit around 132 a share, working on a green candle right now. So let's just give it a few minutes to kind of settle and see if it's going to end up, is this just a healthy pullback, a little bit of profit taking perhaps, and then maybe it makes a run back up to 137, which would be the after hours high. Exactly 137 to the penny. Look at that. All right, so good results from MU. So if you're an MU bull or MU investor, it's looking good. It's up, it's holding steady, up about 5% in after hours. Had a nice initial positive reaction, pulled back a little bit, pulled back like 5 points from that peak. But now it's looking like buyers are stepping back up and taking advantage of this little pullback that just happened. So let's see what happens over the next few minutes and see if 132 can hold. Worst case, I would definitely want 131 to hold for the bulls. And then we'll just kind of go from there. Maybe it starts making higher lows. Maybe this little wick down to 132 it just had forms a higher low. And if that's the case, this thing's going to probably be off to the races and might even be in the 140s by tomorrow. We're just going to have to wait and see, not kind of jump the gun on anything. I like to see higher lows on these earnings reactions. After we get a positive reaction and it pulls back a little bit, pretty easy to identify higher lows when they do start printing. And then if that happens, then the confidence should be pretty high that this thing's probably going to be in the 140s tomorrow. Now that's that's with the understanding that nothing geopolitical happens tomorrow, and the overall indexes take a hit, and then of course Micron might sell off through no fault of its own. But outside of any outside forces, if this thing starts printing higher lows, I could see this back in the 140s by tomorrow. We'll see. Or maybe for the remainder of this week, it makes a run into the 140s. We'll see. But positive reaction. It looks good. We'll go ahead and say congrats to the MU Bulls. I would think if it's going to reverse and kind of retrace all the way back down from where this little rally started, it probably would have happened by now. Sometimes those reversals come in pretty quickly after the initial reaction. And yes, it did pull back a little bit, bounced off 132. It could turn into a higher low, which would be great for the Bulls. So let's give it a minute for the price to print a few more candles, and then we'll kind of go from there. Okay, let me go back here. I accidentally shut down my other screen. And again, 4:15 p.m. is when Jefferies Financial Group is supposed to report. So we're still kind of waiting on them. It is 4:16 p.m. Eastern. So maybe it's the earnings are delayed a little bit, or maybe earnings whispers had a typo with the time they were supposed to report. But as soon as I get it, I will definitely let everybody know. Actually, let me shut down the screen on the right here and pull something else up. And just while Micron's taking a little breather here, let's just talk about Jefferies Financial Group real quick. So again, their forecast EPS 43 cents, forecast revenue 1.56 billion, and they were trading above their anchored VWAP. Anchored VWAP right around $50 a share. Let me go back over here because I want to just make sure I'm not missing anything on Micron. MU. We already went over the results. Let's go here. Now their positive net income was 1.89 billion. So that's some decent profit for Micron. Let me just go back to the income statement real quick. Income statement. Yeah, I mean they, Q3 was a little on the low end, but they're normally ranging between 0.8 billion to 1.8 billion in positive net income. You can clearly see on the income statement here on Webull, the year-over-year numbers are just fantastic, super duper green year-over-year for the quarterly earnings for the same time last year. So good stuff. I like MU as a company. I am a MU fan. I do like it. It's definitely a good stock to have in your portfolio if you're trying to get some exposure to the semiconductor sector. So MU's solid. I like them. They got solid fundamentals, solid financials. They got low debt to asset, which is definitely ideal. Let's just go back to the sticks here. It is pulling back a little bit again, taking a breather. It's that 132. That's going to be the demand right now for S1. We'll see if that can hold. Worst case, 131 is that golden ratio. Definitely want that to hold for the Bulls. But overall, great results. Great results. Let me post some of this earnings data here. Give me 1 second. I got to go back on my other screen. Let me go back to TradingView real quick. There we go. Okay, let me post this on the bottom of my screen on YouTube because this will be good info for everyone to see. MU earnings are out. Okay, paste this, and let's see how this looks on the bottom of my screen. It should come out okay. There we go. MU earnings are out. EPS $1.91, solid beat. Revenue 9.3 billion, nice beat. Positive net income 1.89 billion, so double beat on Micron. Again, they're pulling back a little bit right here, so not sure if this is profit taking or maybe it's guidance related, but overall I think it's solid. Let's see here, and also just FYI, MU was up 40% in the past month. Thank you, Shy Balor on Twitter for posting that for us. So they're coming off of a pretty hot rally, up 40% in the past month. So it's not really surprising if there is a little bit of profit taking right now with this positive reaction. So we'll keep our eyes on it. 50% retrace just broke to the downside. So again, this golden fib 131. Really like to see that hold trading at 131. Okay, back to 132 now. But 131 is probably make or break for me for the bulls, at least as far as after hours price action goes. These are only 1 minute candles, okay? So, we'll see what the remainder of after hours price action is, and then of course the pre-market price action. But what we're looking for here is for it to start printing higher lows. I kind of thought this 132 might have been a higher low, but it just made a lower low. So we need this little downtrend on the 1 minute to break to the upside. So we don't have a higher low end yet, but my eyes are on the 131 per share level. All right, got MU earnings results on the bottom of my screen. Still waiting on, okay, Jeffries. Okay, what's going on here? This kind of sloppy price action and big old huge gap on my trading view chart. Let me just cross check that with Webull. Okay, Webull's showing like a big 5 minute wick. Trading view has a gap. Sometimes there's discrepancies with how the candles look when you're comparing trading view to Webull or Webull to trading view. That's why I use both. I just want all the data that I can. But nonetheless, Jeffries is down 2.3% in after hours, down to $1.30 a share. They closed the regular session at $55.92 a share. They were up 1% on the day, so kind of a little rally going into the earnings, if you will. But now they're down here. It looks like they are getting a negative reaction. So let's see. Their data must be out. It's 4:21 p.m. Eastern. They were supposed to report at 4:15, so I'm assuming it's out. Let me see if I can get the data, and I'll be right with everyone. MU still trying to find a higher low, but nonetheless, nice and positive initial reaction. Took a little breather. These are 5 minute candles here on my Webull. So it printed a pretty good, decent size 5 minute red candle. Then it printed a doji, kind of indecision there. Then the sellers took control of the ball, and another 5 minute fat red candle got printed. Now it's working on a green 5 minutes. So maybe this is going to be the higher low I was looking at when I thought it was going to be at 132. Came close to the golden ratio at 131, and now it's trying to print a green candle. So there are buyers still in the picture here. There is a pretty significant sell side imbalance on the level 2 order book. Just something to keep in mind. But for this to give me more confidence that it may print a higher low, I'd like to see this order book kind of balance out a little bit, and better yet, turn into a buy side imbalance. But right now, pretty big sell side imbalance. So it just looks like maybe some profit taking. Let's look at the tape real quick. Got some green orders coming through. Some green, okay. Lots of red printing. Kind of, we sit here and look at the time and sells for a little bit and kind of get a little feeling on what's happening, but a little bit mixed right now. And the candle it's working on, it's just a little tiny one. So still kind of indecision. Need some more buyers to step up to the plate to really get this thing going, and so that higher low forms. But go back to the order book. Okay, order book's balancing out a little bit. You can see the sell side imbalance is gone. Buyers kind of have control a little bit right now. Let's see if they can keep it up. And maybe this does go higher low right now, but okay, sellers, the sell side imbalance just kicked back in. So we'll see. Buyers are kind of struggling to keep this up here. You have to keep your eyes on it. Look at the tape every now and then. Obviously, for the bulls, we want to see nice bright green orders coming in. Getting a lot of red orders. All right, there's a nice green chunk there, but order sizes are kind of small on that. All right, got a little bit of green coming through the tape. Buyers are trying to pick up momentum here. And that 131 level, that was, again, the golden fib, and that's kind of where the battle's going on. Right above that right now is kind of where the battle is. So we'll see. There's about, now this is a 5 minute candle. There's only about 30 seconds left on this print. So let's see if it closes and finally prints a green one after this nice big 5 minute green initial positive reaction. Then you get 3 red candles, and now it's just the first green 5 minutes working on since that initial pump. So maybe this is where the bottom, the higher low is going to form. We'll see. Time and sell still a little mixed. Not really painting a clear picture here. See what the order book looks like. Yeah, still kind of a sell side imbalance on the order book. All right, let's just see what happens. But yeah, I would like 131 to hold. Okay, that 5-minute print just ended. It ended up being basically a doji candle. So still waiting for the buyers to come out of the woodworks after that initial positive reaction. I say it could be just, people taking profit, but it's not a bad thing. Overall, I think their earnings were very good. The year-over-year numbers were excellent. Even if this does pull back a little bit, I think moving forward, MU is going to be just fine. May even rally back into the 140s as investors finish digesting the earnings data. Let's see here. Okay, I do got the data for Jeffries. I'm going to post that real quick. Jeffries did pull a profit, by the way. So Jeffries EPS came in at 0.40. So they did miss the EPS. I don't think investors are liking that too much. I think EPS is probably a little more important for the financial sector. Revenue, they beat revenue 1.6 billion, so that was nice. That was a good beat there. They did post positive net income of 88 million. Strong advisory momentum and equities performance helped offset fixed income and underwriting softness amid early quarter market uncertainty. Okay, so that's the deal with Jeffries. Let me post this. I'm not sure how many people are here for Jeffries Financial. I'm sure most of the people here are here for Micron, but I'll go ahead and post the Jeffries financial data here, earnings data. I'll put that on the screen just for a little bit, and then I'll put MU back up. But so they missed EPS, but they beat revenue. Okay, so that's the deal with Jeffries Financial Group. Go back over to MU. Still got a little battle going on here right above the golden fib, but that's 131 a share is what I want to hold to see if a higher low prints there. But, buyers are hanging on by a thread here. Sellers are back with the sell side imbalance. Good time and sales. Kind of mixed again. I mean, we've got some green coming in on the time and sales a little bit, but it's like the sellers are just still too prevalent right now. So we'll see. We'll see if it holds and turns into a higher low. Almost 4:30 p.m. Eastern. And just want to look at a few other things. I'm going to put MU's earnings results back on the bottom of my screen because I know most people are here for that. And let me show everyone how to get to MU's earnings call. Okay, I'll just give everyone the link for that. So give me 1 second and I'll get that. Okay, I'm just going to go to Micron's Investors Relations page. And I'll just go right here to the home screen on there. And that's okay. I'll accept cookies. And if you want to see the actual itemized breakdown of their results, you can just click here on that first link right here where it says latest news. Now, events and presentations, this section here, this is where they're going to do the earnings web call. Okay, it's at 2:30 p.m. Mountain Time. So 2:30 p.m. MDT to Eastern. That means their earnings call is in 2 minutes. So let me get this link posted because their earnings call is starting in just a few minutes. All right. Let me check something else here. Okay. All right. I'm just going to put the short link on here because this will be easier for people to screenshot. There we go. I'm going to put this on the bottom of my screen so everyone has a chance to screenshot it. All right, that link there on the bottom of my screen, that's how you're going to get to the Micron earnings call with the upper management. All right, so we got that info for everyone, so that's good. And again, it starts in about 1 minute. I'm actually not going to stream the actual earnings call. I'll talk to the staff over here at PB Alerts. By the way, my name's Swinging Bull with PB Alerts. I'll talk to the staff over here and maybe see if we should be streaming the actual earnings calls because what we've been doing is just streaming the earnings reactions. But we'll see. Hey, Farouk, how you doing, my brother, over here in Discord? Give you a little fire emoji there on that one. Good to see you, brother. But yeah, it's about 4:30 p.m. Eastern. We got our reactions. Jefferies Financial Group actually coming back up a little bit after initially selling, getting a negative reaction. So they closed the regular session just under 56 bucks a share. They did wick down on the initial earnings reaction to 53.70. Now they're sitting back up here. Now, it looks like the spread on the bid and ask is a bit wide, at least what we both showing. So that's probably why it's kind of sitting up there. So I wouldn't get your hopes up too much that Jefferies is going to kind of fly. This spread is almost $2 between the bid and the ask. So you got the bid here on Webull at 54.40, 54.50, excuse me, and that would actually put it right here, which is still kind of down here. So someone must have did a order on the ask and it filled. So yeah, right here, 10 shares filled at 56. So that's why it's sitting up here. But I have a feeling it's probably priced in the 54 range. So you'll probably see it kind of wick back down here as soon as another order gets filled. Again, kind of the battle over 131. Micron's still trying to hang on and still trying to form a higher low after having a nice and positive reaction. Got some people on Discord. Do you think MU's going flat or red? It may. I mean, anything's possible. But, you know, their earnings were pretty impressive. Their year over year and quarter over quarter growth with EPS and revenue was pretty impressive. So I'm not quite sure if this is going to be coming back down, but I mean, it's not really making a substantial positive move. Martin on YouTube, what time is the earnings call? It literally started right now. So I got the link on the bottom of my screen. If you just want to screenshot that, that'll take you right to the earnings. I'll take you to their investors relations page. Just scroll down a little bit and you'll see it here. I think I still got it on my screen. Yeah, right here. So the link I posted takes you to the investor relations. And as soon as you get to that page, just scroll down, events and presentation. It's at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. They're saying 2:30 p.m. Mountain Time, but it's literally going on right now. But yeah, other than that, looks like we got our reactions. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream, and that way anyone can jump on the actual earnings call with the upper management for Micron that just started a few minutes ago. But again, my name's The Swinging Bull with PB Alerts. If you're looking for a new trading community, feel free to check us out. Links in the description. If you do join, just tag me in the chat. I'll come by and say hello, and maybe we can chat, and maybe there's something I can help you with. But other than that, I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their night, and I'll see everyone in the very next stream. Cheers. Have a good night. Bye.